I still can't stream on.
Says it's being live streamed.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're here. Yay!
Hi.
Hi. I'm so excited. I'm so excited today, you guys, because my beautiful, fierce, powerful client, Malika Sellami, is joining me today to have a conversation about what it's like to work with me. And I'm so grateful that you decided to come and do this little short interview with me. Um, you're killing it out there. So I love that. And I love that you're in my space and that I get to be with you on this journey. Like it just makes my heart smile. And I love watching your evolution happen. So why don't you tell us who you are and tell us about your business and how you got started?
Okay. Well, Malika, the chanting queen. I kind of jumped in 2 feet with you um, just at the beginning of the chanting queen, what it was, how to, feel those shoes, who is that chanting queen? And it's been a really great journey. I love it. It's organically growing. What I do,
Absolutely.
what I
Yeah.
do, I chant. I chant. I use my voice. I guide others as well on their discovering and unleashing of their voice and their inner power on their journey to clearing the shit out and moving forward and attracting what we want our life to be. So yeah, a little bit in a couple of
Yeah.
sentences.
Well, energetically speaking, you clear out the junk so that we can call in what it is that we desire to have in our lives, right?
Yeah.
And and realign with our chakras and all of the energy pieces within ourselves through our voice, which is super cool.
We're actually clearing DNA, like we're clearing dormant DNA. We're vibrating, we're using sound, breath. And it's really like, I love hearing my clients' stories, and sometimes it's personal and I can't share them, but there's been some beautiful awakenings, like body awakening and emotional and tapping into their own energy, understanding, feeling that, like, oh yeah, it's just amazing to witness. And as we do our work and as we help others, we're also witnessing our own changes, because my chanting practice has never been so consistent. I chant almost every day, right? Like, this is my life. Yeah.
Yeah. How and so what started you? What started you with the kirtan and
Um,
how has that evolved?
well, I actually come from the stage. I'm a singer, performer, started choirs when I was younger, but took me a while to really come out of my shell and become a lead singer. And now it sounds, so easy with who I've become, but then it was really hard I knew I had the voice, but it was hard to put it out there, right?
Yeah.
um did bars, played all around the world, really made my music my lifestyle, but also I was searching for myself, anywhere. I was still a little bit lost with all of this. And as I became more of a teacher with the kids in school, the music, of course, was always there, but somehow a few years ago, I decided to start combining those, the spiritual journey into healing myself and my own personal healing journey. The tools I was gathering, the chanting, of course, because that's been going on for 10 years, but more professionally, as a career, as a guide for others. It's been in the last few years, but really step into that power and step into that, um, the person I wanted to be to help others and all of that. Anyway, I'm getting, I'm getting a little bit everywhere here,
That's what we
but
do. We just ramble on.
we, I basically combine my love for teaching, for chanting, using my voice, singing, and my spiritual journey altogether. And it's kind of, you help me find more structure in all of this, right? Like it
Yeah.
started with, it
Yeah.
started with finding that structure, you know, because
And that was like, that was the idea that you had, is that you wanted to create a business out of that and combine the spiritual work with the chanting and just being able to show up as a leader. And I think you've done that, and I've watched your evolution, and it's freaking amazes me all the time. So what was like your biggest fear about jumping into the program with me?
well, always the investment. Like that's that like that comes from stories. We've been working on money stories for a while. And I actually talked about my money stories today in my training. And like changing those money stories, right? Those fears that come with investment, those lack of worth, probably even. Why would I invest so much in me? But at some point,
Yeah.
you kind of have to make the jump, even if it's scary. You know, you still have to do it because
Yeah.
I needed that structure. I needed that, not necessarily the validation, but the suggestion, the constructive criticism, the, you know, putting all the pieces together, because it's not a business that I've seen people do a lot around me. It's not like a popular thing. Not everybody
Yeah.
understands the power of voice and use it in the way I use it with kirtan chanting, right? Like it's very
Yeah.
spiritual, it's very meditative. So
Well, and so you have like such a unique niche. Like that was just one of the things that attracted me to you in the first place, and I was like, yes, let's work together and let's create something out of this, because it is so unique, and you're, and like I said, you're just doing wonderfully. So, you know, you say that you needed the structure and you kind of needed that accountability person to hang
yes.
out with you and say, try this, try this, try this, do that. And do you think that's, you know, what brought you to here, to where you are
Yeah.
right now?
And also like someone to hold your hand along the way of becoming the person that you're at beginning scared to become. It's scary
Yeah.
because you see yourself out there and you're like, ooh, how am I gonna get there from where I am now? And so like have that support along the way that yeah, I feel it's important. You can't just do everything on your own. Like you need that support, and you can't always like take free stuff here and there. And oh, look, there's this free training that I probably will not join because, you know, it doesn't create any accountability. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Accountability is so important in relationship to ourselves, to what we want to become. And we got to work to get there, and it's not easy, and sometimes you need somebody to hold your hand along the way.
Well, it's been my pleasure to hold yours. And just
Now
to
we're
be together in
skipping.
space, right? Yeah. And I mean, when you came to me, like you already had like a fairly large audience, you were active on social media, you were consistent on social media. So what do you think were some of the things that we did together that helped you grow to where you are right now?
Well, to be able to offer, like when I talk about structure, that sounds horrible because I've said it 3 times, but you did help me create that structure in terms of like, because it's overwhelming to be able to offer the quality of offers that we can now with the work that we've done. I say we, not necessarily just together, but me, that I've done, and that you've helped me come to. um you just kind of need some kind of a structure to get
This,
started with.
yeah, strategy, right? You need a
Yeah,
strategy, a proven strategy that works.
yeah,
And then you get to put your own magic in it
yeah.
and create that flow for yourself. I love that. I love it.
I don't follow always all the rules, and I'm okay with it.
Well, there are no rules in my space, and you are the
Exactly.
biggest rule breaker. I'm not gonna
But
lie.
that is that is one of the things that attracted me from you, the things that attracted to work with you, because I'm kind of always a jump in when I have the feeling, and I've made mistakes like this in the past, and that's okay. They might not be mistakes because they led me to something else, right? But I feel like
Yeah, absolutely.
when I feel like let's go, and one of the things that attract to work with you was that I knew that I was going to be accepted for how I decide to do things. You were not going to try and mold me to this thing. You call yourself rebel, so but at the same time, I do follow certain rules because I think they are important, but I like to make my own rules um, in terms of doing things, in terms of doing the business. The way I chant kirtan is not traditional at all, and it took me a while to accept that and not become that imposter syndrome, like to really jump
Yeah.
into this is it. I am leading kirtan this way, and this is kind of how I do things. I'm going to use tuning forks, guitar, ukulele, drums, and I'm a musician at heart, right? But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I like that. Working with you was a lot with um being accepted for my quirkiness or my presence on social media and um yeah, and my values and but you also helped me even when I was like Taurus, stubborn. Nope, this is it. I'm not doing this. And then, well, okay, let me hear your side then. Okay, I'll think about it. Okay, you're right. There was a few times where there was that process that I needed to get to break
Yeah.
some barriers, to try things outside of my unconventional.
Well, and just to move through some of those pieces of our comfort zone, right? Sometimes we struggle to push ourselves through those spaces. So it's nice to have somebody that loves you to death to help you move through those pieces. So what would you say are some of like the very specific wins that you've had? So since we've been
Um,
together, you started a membership
yes,
and
I also have 3 months intensive mastermind that I absolutely love. Um, that is starting again, if I can say, in a couple of
yes,
weeks. I'm
absolutely.
so excited to launch it on a little bit of a different twist. But
Yep.
same core values, same core tools, and awesome energy. What do I have? I have also an intro to Kirtan, kind of like 4 weeks program, and I have also a gazillion ideas, but one at a time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But I still do live. I'm going on festivals this summer. There's still that musician in me, that musicianship, the chanting with everyone, the in-person circles. That's not something that happens online. It's impossible to all chant together. We still
Yeah.
hold that energy and clear that energy and feel it, but we can't hear the voice and that echo of the voice,
Yeah.
not just the energy, but the voice is so special when we're in, so it's not performing, it's leading, but you've come to one of my circles.
I know, you're amazing.
So it's like encouraging everyone to just be themselves and use their voice and try it and also feel those ripples. So,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I
So
feel like
yeah.
one of the biggest I feel like one of the biggest wins for you is owning that value and that worth and setting boundaries for yourself for things that you no longer do that you may have done in the past, right? Like really owning what it is that you're bringing to the table and standing behind yourself in that power. Like I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thanks for naming the wins that I didn't, but you're right. No, you're right. I got carried away, but ultimately that membership it's such a good accountability for all the ladies and for myself. And I think that through that, because that's been the longest project I'm on, I've become the person that was uncomfortable to be, or like I've just really stepped in my power, basically found my
Yeah.
voice, but not just my singing voice, right? Like that inner voice. But it takes that kind of support. It's hard to do this
Yeah.
on our own. Yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody said to you, "Hey, I'm thinking about working with Shannon," what would you say to them?
I say jump in. you've been working like all the other ladies you work with are very different. We're all very different. And I feel like lots of the information that you share with us, if it's not a reminder, because we've heard it, it's definitely pertinent. It's
Yeah.
beneficial. I like those
Yeah.
accountability meetings that we have every week. Sometimes it's just to hold space for someone else. And I think that's amazing to have that
Yeah.
give and receive, like that flow. What else? I like your availability, the one-on-ones, like I can have as many as I need. You're also not going to just like sometimes you're going to and call ourselves out. And I think that it's important. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that. And I think that's important in that taking that self accountability, into like, because we're accountable to our own growth. You're not doing the
That's
work
right.
for us, right? Like we're doing the
That's
work.
right. You guys are
So,
doing the work. I'm just here. Yeah. And I think it's important for us as in our growth and our evolution too, to, have somebody to, see those blind spots that we don't always see, or see through our bullshit that we try
yeah.
to tell ourselves, right? And yeah, I guess that's what makes me a rebel too, is that I'm pretty good at
Yeah.
that.
But
so
I think
so
it's
do you
important. It's important to have
so
a coach that has that, like that guts to just say the things as they are with love.
with love always, with always. And do you think that the group, so like the group atmosphere, are you happy with how, the whole group runs? The women are amazing. Like
Very
they're so
supportive.
great, right?
There's a lot of support. There's an invitation. I was invited one of the ladies to go visit. I think I'm passing through there on my way north, so I might stop. I like that
Yeah.
camaraderie. And then you and another lady came to one of my kirtan in person, came to chant. It
Yeah.
was really nice. I feel supported online, or like I have been also in person. Yeah, no, I think it's great. It's a great environment to check in,
Awesome.
to feel safe, to share our wins as well. We celebrate our we celebrate every week something.
Oh, we should, right? That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So, if somebody that's watching here today on my profile, if they wanted to work with you, where can they find you, or where can they learn more about you?
The chantingqueen.com, and I'm the chanting queen on social media as well. Um, yeah, they can check out all the programs there. I'm often here and there on YouTube, on my personal Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, offer lots of amazing offerings, and I also offer some free stuff. So for every budget.
Absolutely. Well, it has been my divine pleasure to have you come and hang out with me today and do this interview. And thank you for taking the time to do that. And I love you. And I'll see you on Monday night for our session. And I will drop your links in the comments of this interview so people can easily find you and follow you if they choose to.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
Bye.
Bye.